Oh, that was far too much energy. Hello, Internet. Devergen here. Welcome back to the beautiful, beautiful past. We've got waterfalls and everything, and Emmett Selk is a grump. The greatest contribution. Not that I or anyone else would be able to make use of it, even if we knew. But it irks me to discover that there is an entirely different form of energy, and no one told me. That personal annoyance aside, Hermes' knowledge is undeniably impressive. Given that there are none among the 14 who specialise in the celestial, it would be a welcome addition. Assuming he can be persuaded to join, that is, I still can't understand his hesitation. That's the wrong addition. It should be addition, not edition. What do you specialise in? Oh, you wish to know why Emmett Selk was chosen for the convocation? I should be glad to share the tale. Ahem, it began when... not another word. Lest you've forgotten, we're to learn about Hermes, not me. My misspent youth is not your concern. Nice. Tell me anyway. Yes, excellent. What now? I want to learn about the convocation. Huh. If you would accompany us, I suppose you should at least know that much. The Convocation 14 is a governing body that determines myriad policies. Our goal is to ensure that all is right in creation, that our star may know a brighter future. As the name suggests, the Council is comprised of 14 offices, each of which is held by an individual chosen for their surpassing abilities. Depending on the office, one is required to either be an authority in a certain field, or possess skills that would facilitate the performance of their stipulated duties. The former category includes Metron, specialist in aquatic life, Logriff, specialist in terrestrial life and husbandry, Almaret, specialist in fungal and plant life, Meroloth, specialist in medicine and healing, and Lahab Freya, specialist in creation magics, who has brought forth phantom beings of the highest complexity. As for the latter category, there is Ultima, advocate of the arts, Iguim, champion of enlightenment and rhetoric, Pashtaret, preserver of discipline and order, Emmett Selk, keeper of the ethereal realm, or underworld, in the vernacular, Brandaniel, pursuer of extant phenomena, and Azam, traveller of the world and counsellor to the people. What? Should I be really revealing such details to you? Don't be silly. Even children know this much, and you would do well to remember it all. Interesting. One of the things I think I'm actually enjoying the most about this, of course, is that this is pre-tempering. So everything that they are saying here is just based on this is what they were like. None of this, Lord Zodiac, we must tell everything in your framework. Friends in thinness. My apologies for the wait. I have inspected the Ampelos to my satisfaction. All is well with the creature, and I dare say it won't be long ere it is released into the world. Another creation, however, reportedly isn't faring so well, the Charybdis. That is what we shall tend to next. If you'd follow me, my friends, we shall return to the main isle and head north. Charybdis. I always pronounce Charybdis wrong. I'm probably still pronouncing it wrong. I cannot remember the proper pronunciation. I may also be pronouncing it right. We get to go up to these bigger ones. I assume we can. Why is this one blue and shiny? Oh, forgive me. I thought another member of the convocation had come. This is turning out to be an eventful day. A serpentine bird or a winged snake? There is a slight difference in etheric balances between these Charybdises. By this, it may be assumed that they aren't the original creations, but their offspring. Is that not allowed? Or is that proof that they're okay? I understand there is a problem with one of the Charybdis. Yes, that's right. As you know, the Charybdis is based on a sea creature. Owing to adjustments to enhance its affinity to wind, it is capable of flight. The specimens created from the concept could all fly without issue, but a problem arose in subsequent generations. This third generation creature was born with an etheric balance leaning stronger towards water, its aquatic origin reasserting itself, it would seem. The result being its affinity to wind is diminished and it cannot fly. No matter what we try, we can't get it to rise even the slightest bit. For such change to manifest in so few generations, I fear they are too unstable, flawed. With your permission, I will revert the creatures and recommend to the Bureau that the concept be revised. With its etheric balance leaning towards water, the Charybdis would indeed struggle to manipulate wind. Yet it's too early to conclude that it cannot fly. Having failed at first, it may simply have developed a fear. I shall transform and fly with it, helping it to manipulate wind until it finds its wings. What? You needn't go to such lengths. You don't know... Oh, but of course not. Transformation is an art in which one manipulates a vast quantity of ether to construct another body around oneself. In practice, this allows one to assume any conceivable form and thereby transcend the limits of one's flesh. Yet, convenient though it may be, transforming in the presence of others is considered vainglorious in the extreme, as uncouth and unseemly as running around robeless. Shameful. Am I to understand you make a habit of this? Nothing of the sort. It's just when transformed, I can will the wind and fly. It may seem excessive, but what is our shame next to the lives of these creatures? They deserve a chance, and we owe it to them to do all in our power. Be that as it may. Yes, I believe I have a solution. Itself, may I trouble you to move that Charybdis away from its fellows, somewhere out of sight? Meanwhile, I'd like the rest of you to help me prepare here. What mischief are you scheming now? No mischief, I assure you. I would spare you the need to report to your colleagues that Hermes committed an indiscretion. So have a little faith and run along. You can see where the power relies in this friendship, can't you? I trust you don't mind. Come on then, water. Watery Charybdis. What are we going to do? We must help the Charybdis to fly, or else they will all die. Emet-Selk is out of sight? Good. Let's speak of the plan. It's a stroke of genius, really. We have Emet-Selk train the Charybdis. Aside from being unable to fly untransformed, he can readily see ether currents, and with his adept spellcraft he can also employ suitable wind magics to guide the creature along. While he is indeed capable of all you described, it is not his duty. I'm loath to trouble him with it. Don't be. As I mentioned, it would also be for his own sake. With that settled, let's begin at once. Temujin, I want you to go to Emet-Selk. Tell him that you have a favour to ask. He will be disinclined to cooperate at first, but you mustn't be discouraged. With our friend, the trick is to be unflaggingly persistent. Off you go now, and good luck. I have a favour to ask of you, Emmett. Dear Lord. But it is so nice to see these characters in a... How far have you gone, Emmett? Oh, great and powerful Emmett Selk. I have a favour. Oh, must make sure I spell favour the American way to ask. Oh, no you don't. I'm not lifting a finger. Ugh. I don't know what Hythlodaeus is up to, and I will not be made to know. I refuse. If Hythlodaeus is to be believed, relentless insistence may serve to wear down the ever-weary Emmett Selk. With the chat to say, please Emmett Selk, to plead with him. Oh, say. Please, Emmett Selk. All too easy.
Oh, no. You are not foisting this nonsense on me.
But Emmett.
I'm given to understand you have the power to help the Charybdis, and should be quite willing to do so. And so I appeal to your better nature, most benevolent Emmett Selk. Please teach her to fly.
Or else Hermes will transform. Right now.
Now, there's no need to go quite that far. Altruism is its own reward, as I'm sure he would agree.
Putting words in his mouth.
Oh, would he now? And who contrived to put me in this position, pray tell?
No idea what you're talking about, Emmett.
Nothing so devious. I merely suggested a possible course of action.
Please, Emmett Selk. Please.
I did not come all this way to play nursemaid to your creations. I'd thank you to remember this favor and let it be the last.
She's so adorable. Ah. Hello, Skyhorse.
I will aid it once it has taken to the air. It falls to you to shepherd it skyward.
Well, let's relax and enjoy the spectacle, shall we?
Emmett in his element. So that's where the collector's edition mount comes from. Is it collector's edition mount or is it pre-order mount?
You were wondering why Emmett Selk joined the convocation.
Aha, yes.
Truth be told, he wasn't the first choice for the office. I was. On
Oh.
the strength of my ability to see ether. But I declined the offer. For though my vision is exceptional, I am pedestrian in all other aspects. Worse even.
But you are an excellent manipulator.
Quite abysmal when it comes to manipulating ether, for example. Couldn't transform even if I had a mind to do so. What good is the ability to perceive a problem if one cannot act to address it?
Good point. Well made, actually. Very well made.
Emmett Selk has no such shortcomings. He excels in vision and manipulation both, the latter to an extraordinary degree. If there is a mage more powerful, I do not know of them. Thus did I recommend him for the office in my stead. And I wasn't the only one. Far from it. Countless others vouched for his skill and character. People the world over, to whom he had previously lent a helping hand.
And yet to see what he became.
Oh, how surprised he was. Claimed he hadn't done anything remarkable for anyone. Modest to a fault. He deserved every bit of acclaim he received. Yet he may well have gone unappreciated were it not for a mutual friend. A singular soul who can't help but involve herself in the business of others. Where she walks, excitement is certain to follow. Her antics irritate Emmett Selk to no end. But much of his grumbling stems from genuine concern. When our friend calls, he never fails to answer and lend his talents.
I'd really like to meet Azim.
And in the course of doing so, he himself came to be recognized and respected by those around him. They are truly remarkable individuals, and I'm proud to call them friends. To help them realize their dreams. This will be my greatest contribution to our world.
And yet, what happened?
And when they have fulfilled their respective purposes, so too shall I have fulfilled mine. And together we may return to the star.
But they don't get to.
Look at me, spilling my innermost secrets. I can't seem to help it with you. I can only assume it is due to the color of your soul. I just don't understand how you can be so alike and yet so different.
Well done, my pet. Well done!
Ah, yes. I dare say the Charybdis will be fine here on. Why don't you go and signal to Emmett Selk? Let him know that his arduous task is at an end.
This section is just highlighting the tragedy even more, isn't it? Which is partially the point. You know, we've heard about the paradise that they used to have, but we've seen it through the lens of the tempering. Look how well the Charybdis flies. It's flying. It's really flying, as if it were born to do so, thank goodness. Hey, Emmett. Oops, I didn't see what that said. I have no words to express my gratitude. Thanks to you, the Charybdis has learned to fly. And Demeter and I could relax and have a pleasant chat. I'm sure you did. The creature needed some small assistance at first, but soon it was flying more or less on its own. I doubt you will need to repeat the lesson. That was truly impressive. Who's this? I witnessed it all from afar. The Charybdis flies. Indeed, with this we've proven that even a creature with skewed etheric balance is capable of flights. Though we helped it to achieve this, the Charybdis is a herd animal. They may well aid their struggling kin in a like fashion if and when the need arises. Keeping this in mind, I bid you continue observing them. If that is what you want. But if I may say so, rather than hoping an idealistic possibility comes to pass, would it not be simpler to have the concept adjusted? That way we could guarantee that anomalies such as this specimen are never born in the first place. These creatures are already here. We will spare no effort in giving them a chance to survive. As you wish, Chief. As you wish. A little bit of friction there in terms of belief. So the troubled observer is almost akin to, it's not perfect, so we should just give up on it and try again. Whereas Hermes is very much of a slightly flawed but could still work. Hermes? I'm fine. Don't worry. He's not fine. Well, that concludes all of my present tasks. Let us return to anagnosis for now. All these Greek words. Also, I haven't been checking for ether currents at all. So yes, we have learned a lot. We've learned about Emmett. We've learned about just how nice of a chap he is. We've learned a lot about their society. We've also learned just a little bit of a hint there about frictions. This is a really nice zone. Oh, I guess the ether current is upwards. Oh, there's another area up there. Which should be obvious, realistically, considering there's an etherite and everything. Let's continue onwards with the story then. So we've learnt about Dynamis. We've learnt about the Etherean culture. All the creations are happy. That makes me happy too. Now you've seen what I do. Was it everything you were expecting? I thoroughly enjoyed myself. At the end, most of all. What? Want to apologise for forcing me to help, do you? Save your breath. You didn't force me to do anything. I merely chose the most expedient way to have done with the impediment to our business. And Hythlodaeus has a little chuckle at Emmett's expense. Just going to keep the robes on. Yes. Something seems to be weighing on Hermes' mind. Tell me, Demagen, in the course of watching me, have you learned aught of value? Dynamis seemed promising. Dynamis, you say? Curious that such an obscure phenomenon should be of interest to you. Chief Hermes, what good fortune to find you here. Is something the matter? The Echion, I'm afraid it's done it again. No sooner did we release one for observation than it set upon the nearby occupants, slaughtering them. Was the creature hungry or somehow provoked? I had just fed them myself, and the occupants were keeping a wide berth. It is the nature of the Echion that is to blame, their innate viciousness. Temperament aside, it is an outstanding creation, perfect in form and function. Though it may not be suited for release, I have no doubt that the Bureau will accept its concept for preservation. In any case, there's no point in postponing the inevitable. Doris will revert them all once the paperwork is in order. Where is the scene of the incident? Just off the path to the 12 Wonders. As you make your way, you should see it on the left. I don't know if Doris is still there, however. Hermes, wait! 12 Wonders, you say? Hermes is actually very... If this is part of his work, then I would observe. We follow. Hermes is maybe a little bit too keen to see the good in people. Ooh, there's a... That's an ether current quest, isn't it? We're probably going to be able to do bits of it on the way. This is such a beautiful zone. I can't get over how beautiful it is. The sky and everything. And obviously it helps that we've got entertaining characters and stuff as well. Socles. Welcome, friends, to Anagnoisis. I'm Socles, and I manage this region under the authority of Chief Hermes. And you are... oh, how unusual. A soul-bearing familiar. A familiar must have a mission, and yet you offer no message and carry no cargo. Are you perhaps here for the purposes of observation? Yes, that must be it, in which case you need only mention my name to Carmen, and she will gladly give you a tour of our domain. Soak it all in. I do like the fact that they literally cannot conceive of what else I could be. Yes? What can I do for you? Imogen, is it? And Overseer Socles wishes me to act as your guide. Oh, no! I didn't mean it like that. I'd be more than happy to show you around. I'm simply wondering why the Overseer chose to send you to me, of all people. I haven't been here long myself, truth be told. Until quite recently, I was wholly engaged in a prolonged research project at the Academia Anada. Surely there were the more experienced individuals who would provide a more comprehensive... this grumbling is hardly constructive now, is it? My task was given to me, and I will attempt to cover the most salient features of our facility to the best of my abilities. After all, it is not every day that one is asked to indulge the curiosity of such a rare and fascinating visitor. We can commence the tour this very moment, if you like. Then let us begin. You know, rather than have me lecture you as we walk along, I think observing firsthand what we do here would prove more beneficial. I'll point you in the right direction, and you can question my colleagues to your heart's content. Once we've completed a circuit, we can return and speak to Overseer Socles. Okay. Let's go this way first. Can you run? Yes, you can. Alright. Nikias. Come in. Oh, and who is your friend? Asm's familiar. Why you appear so astute and deliberate in your thinking. I should very much like to make an extended study of your composition and consciousness. Oh, do forgive my forwardness. It is my duty to chart the behaviour of familiars, and I find it ever so diverting. Arcane servants are rarely permitted to roam the world at will, you see, but our research here is given special dispensation, once the subjects are properly registered as concepts, of course. There are times when familiars are tasked with tending cattle and must otherwise coexist with other living beings. Such projects are brought to me, and I am responsible for observing and evaluating their potential compatibilities. Oh, but of course, if Asm might grant us permission, then you could abide here for a few years while I analyse. And on that note, we will be moving along. Step lively! It would entertain me greatly if at the end of this zone we just got a little bit of a cutscene with Asm receiving a load of news that somebody's been going around claiming to be her familiar. Paramonos. Who do we have here? A familiar of some kind, judging by your ethereal structure. Yes, I am accompanying Imogen here on a tour around Anagnoisis at the behest of the Overseer. A tour? Feel free to wander as you please, of course, but I advise keeping your distance from the larger creatures. The fauna I have under observation occupy the top tier of the food chain and do not take kindly to intruders in their territory, especially the specimens found on the other islands. They can be exceedingly hostile. While I'm sure you are quite capable of defending yourself, no one appreciates a surprise tusk through the abdomen, eh? Thank you for the warning. We will proceed with due caution. Don't get on your bike. Or they do not follow you. Cool horse. Blaste. I've targeted the peacock there, haven't I? Hello, Charmin. Was there something? The Overseer asked that I give this familiar a tour of the grounds, and I thought the best way to do that was to show her what we do here firsthand. I see. Well, as my work is rather difficult to demonstrate, I hope a brief explanation will suffice. Our creations are many and varied, but I mainly preside over the plant life. When it comes to watching certain grasses grow, one must be prepared to observe over the course of several years, and in the case of trees, sometimes decades. Tedious, perhaps, yet necessary. Plants are capable of altering an entire habitat, and their presence as a food source has an enormous influence on the local wildlife. Was that the sort of thing you wish to know? Yes, that was perfect, thank you. I think we've covered the main areas of interest. All that's left now is to speak with Overseer Sockless. I wonder if there's going to be follow-up tours. Oh, I'm almost certain there's going to be follow-up tours because this is very clearly marked as Port 1. Port 1? Part 1. Reading, Demagen. Basic reading. Stupid illness. I've targeted the peacock again. Ah, I see you've completed your tour. Almost. We spoke with those in charge of the various facets of Anagnorisis, but I thought it would be a fitting end to this visit where it began, with you, Overseer. I see. And what is your impression of the work we do here? It requires equal levels of passion and patience. A little bit like my actual job. I am glad we could help further your worldly education. And I am glad to see you enjoyed the experience. At least I hope you did. You are truly a masterpiece of creation. Only a soul-bearing familiar could demonstrate such robust cognitive and cognitive faculties. Were you perhaps designed to inspire others? I feel something special has been woven into your aura. You have an intriguing presence, to say the least. Please stay a while and share more of your thoughts with us. Yes, I second this invitation. In all the long years I have resided here, never have I encountered such a unique entity, and one of Azam's no less. I like that. I like that even broken and sundered as we are, they still see us as something different to expectations. And it should be noted that they have at no point disparaged or put down familiars. They've not treated them with contempt or as lesser creations or anything like that. What are these? Do they have face? Oh no, they've got weird monocular eyes. Oh dear. It's heavy, Hermes' pain. A fearsome beast, this Ikion. But where is it now? The Occupete is no easy prey. With its hooves and horns, it was designed to be formidable even on land. Yet they didn't stand a chance against the Ikion. The laceration and burns were unmistakable. Ikion was indeed responsible. Anne, surely. But the creature is nowhere to be seen. Doris must have taken it away. The man makes his base at the 12 Wonders. I shall go and seek him out there. Now it's sail, and I will search the area for good measure, just to make sure the Ikion did not escape. My thanks. Let us meet at the 12 Wonders when you have finished. I'll go on ahead. Please follow with Demagen. Come. It's down this path and over the bridge. Pickle pea, pop-a-rum. That's what she reminds me of. We're going to get to go up there. Yes, we are. Because there's a whole area. It's weird. We've barely. This area is actually really big. You know, this is there's a whole host of stuff up there. So I'm guessing we're going to be here for a while. Which suits me fine. There it is. The 12 Wonders. Hermes is looking for Doris. Let's look for Doris too. He's a man with long blonde hair, I think. I'll know him when I see him. So why is this place called the 12 Wonders? Huh. If you're with Meteon, then I assume you're on an errand for Hermes. What can I do for you? Sorry, wrong person. We're looking for Doris. I see, we do have similar hair, so people often mistake us from afar. I hope you find him soon. They're so nice to each other. Once I get back and record today's results, I should finally be able to put that report to bed. Not Doris. His hair is long, but the colour is wrong. Clovis. And we go inside. Nobody in here. Wonder if the crystals on the doors are what? They light up. Deucalion. Oloros. They just seem to be having a good life, frankly. This is an aetherite. Should probably attune to it. What's this place called? Oh yes, the 12 Wonders. Hello, blonde-haired man. No, that's the peacock. Doris, that's Doris. Well now, if it isn't Meteon, what brings you here? Ah, I thought I heard familiar voices. I didn't realise you two had decided to help me search for Doris. Thank you. You're in charge of the Echonis, I believe. Where are they now? Out in the fields in restraints. Frenzied as they were, I couldn't well return them to Tysis. Once I've submitted my report, I'll see them reverted without delay. It's as he says, the beasts are indeed quite ferocious. You're one of the 14. What brings you here? Nothing you need to concern yourself with, as you were. We've heard the news that Alekion slaughtered occupities. As the observer in charge, you are of the opinion that they are not fit to be released? Aye, I am. Their abnormal aggression and exceptional strength makes for a highly problematic combination. It matters not where they are released. Lycanes would threaten... Oh, it's an L. That makes sense. Lycanes would threaten other species and upset the natural order. Could it be the specimens observed are an outlier? Highly unlikely. We've created a good many of them. All exhibited the same tendencies. Even when we used Kairos to begin with a fresh slate, their behaviour was unchanged. Kairos? A memory reconfiguration system. The Chief himself created it. It allows us to erase or alter memories that we may observe creations in different environmental conditions without needing to remake them from scratch. Quite impressive and potentially dangerous. Depending on the intensity of the etheric emissions, Pashtarat may wish to have words with you. Rest assured, I've kept all values within prescribed limits, and to prevent misuse, its applications are limited to those authorised by the Chief Overseer. Do not misunderstand. To manipulate a subject's memories is an intrusive act I deeply abhor, but it is still preferable to execution. Come now, Chief, let's not be so melodramatic. What was born of ether is simply being reduced to its original state. I know the distinctions concern you, but we mustn't lose sight of the bigger picture, making rational choices for the sake of a more prosperous star. If a creation cannot be properly studied even with the aid of Kairos, we remake it. If a creation is deemed a detrimental existence, we unmake it. It is all for the greater good, and none question the necessity of such routine processes. I understand these things, I do. I would never think to unleash a clear and undeniable threat onto our world. Yet insignificant though their individual lives might be next to all creation, it is all the Lycanes have. Before we seal their fates, we owe it to these beings to exhaust all options to ensure that nothing has been overlooked. If you insist, let me provide you with a full report and we may take it from there. Would it be possible for us to attend the discussion, that Emmett Selk may better carry out his duties? By all means. Pray, show them to the meeting room. There's a moral distinctness here that Hermes seems to hold that is a little conflicting with the norm. We have a duty to the star, this I know. It doesn't mean we also... It doesn't mean we don't also have a responsibility that our lives would bring into existence here. I wonder if this is going to lead to the problems. The fact that he so very clearly feels that these creatures shouldn't be constantly unmade, especially if there is this dynamis going on. If these creatures are able to feel emotions, does unmaking them, yes, it might dissipate their ether and turn them into something else, but what if they have dynamis as well? Where does that go? Is that what causes the final days? Is that the keening, the just one step too far? Perhaps. To man, other things are just things. No, to man, other beings are just things to be used and controlled like magic. That's what Hermes told me once. Yes. A sentimental gift. You needn't be an Enteleki to feel the weight bearing down on Hermes. I fear this discussion may take a while, during which time... Meteon, are you feeling unwell? It's not me, Hermes, it's you. I won't go to the meeting. I'll stay with Demogen. Loath I am to impose, may I leave Meteon in your care again? That's fine. We learn things. I'm in your debt, if you'll excuse me. I mean, weirdly enough, this questline is reasonably all bureaucracy. You know, this is a bureaucratic visit from Emmett Selk, and just stuff is happening whilst we go about seeing him perform his duties. And it's such an odd kind of premise for an entire zone, at least so far, worth of bits and pieces. And yeah, I'm loving it. Can you help me with something, Demogen? The meeting will make Hermes sad. I want to cheer him up with a flower. Hermes likes flowers the most of all the creations in Elpis. Most creations are expected to be interesting or beautiful or strong, better in some way. But flowers are different. They're designed to suit our emotions, what we feel and want to convey. Hermes likes that. I can't make flowers, so I'll search for one. I want you to search with me. Let's start here at the 12 Wonders. We can do this. Tree in bloom. Miming a wall. Vibrant purple flowers bigger than your hands adorn the tree. Ooh, so big and bright. I love them. But they might be too bright. You have to think of the recipient. That's what Hermes said. And Hermes is not big and bright. This is a tree, Dema. That is not a flower. A tall, slender tree rises before you. You crane your neck to look for flowers. No flowers. If there were apples, we could have covered them in syrup. Let's head outside next. Don't worry, we won't wander far. I mean, it's not like we're in any danger. Ooh, that's a pretty flower bed. An array of beautiful flowers grow in the bed, their mix of colours forming a pattern. These would be better for Hermes, but they're hedged in, which means we shouldn't touch them. They're either under observation or poisonous. Any other place should be fine, though. Let's keep looking. Oops. No. Stop getting on my bike. Hold on. That's a rose trap. Set on a tall, thin stalk, the oddly shaped flower is mesmerising in its undulations. Oh, a conion, a flower that can move. When Hermes wasn't looking, it shot seeds at him. Not a good gift, maybe. But you're good, Demagen, at spotting flowers. We'll find something soon. Yes, I have eyes and can spot flowers. Grips. Mobile! What are they actually called? Oh, the mobile is not a... so pretty. I love mobiles. Oh, I'd have liked to see what the mobile were originally called by the ancients. You spot nothing promising nearby. At best, common-looking grasses with some few tiny flowers. Nothing around here. Ah! Over there, Demagen. Something big, huge. Ah! The mobile. Malodorous grass. That's why it's not got a name, because it's part of the quest. A terrible stench reminiscent of sodden old boots pervades the air. Without a doubt, the culprit is the mobile-like creature before you. It's an Adonis. Ha ha! The irony. There, that's nicely played. Well done. The things around its mouth look like petals, but the flowers are the orbs on its head. When Hermes inspected it, it swallowed him up. He didn't leave his room for days. What do you think, Demagen? Would he like it? It's probably not the good sort of memory. An Adonis. Not this one either. Finding a good flower, it's harder than I thought. I'm sorry, Demagen, but could we search a little more? Maybe as far as the fields over there? I'll pick something after that, I promise. Adonis. Obviously, if you know who Adonis was in Greek myths, you get the lovely irony of that one. Lush grass fields stretch out before you, ending where the sky begins. Oh, there's nothing. The shiny thing over there. What could it be? A shiny object. Oh, look. Elpis flowers. Ooh, Elpis flowers. They're here too. Hermes likes and dislikes them at the same time. Like me, they're entelekes. Like me, they feel his pain and turn dark. That's only for Hermes, though. For others, they're always white and bright. Now this is getting more to the... This is getting more to the root of why we're here. Truly, the flowers darken your home. Then, do you have it too, a dark emotion? I've known the pain and sorrow of loss. I see. Hermes has known the same. The feeling that a part of you is gone, again and again, but no one notices. Please, Demagen, won't you lend it to me, your pain and sorrow? I want you to make the flower dark in front of Hermes. He has been in a dark place since before he created me. He needs to know that he isn't there alone, that others are sad too. Interesting. So this idea that in a perfect society that nobody is sad because of how perfect everything seems to be. But the thing is, we know that Hermes becomes Van Daniel. We know he gets that seat on the council. But he goes onto it with such doubts. I can't wait to see how he reacts. I don't know whether that's a good thing. I see another Ether Covent quest. It seems they're still talking. Let's wait until they're finished. Hi.
Hermes!
Oh.
Oh, you were waiting for me.
You've finished talking?
Yes, we've come to a decision. My thanks for keeping Meteon company. MSQ and Hythlodaeus have already retired to their rooms. There is room for you too, if you would follow me.
But first,
Wait! I want to show you something first.
Elpis flowers?
Go on.
oh, that's a pretty colour.
You're not the only one, Hermes. Others feel sad too. You're not alone.
I see Meteon has shared much with you.
She doesn't have a filter. They're kind of prettier like this.
May we talk a moment?
Nice eyes. Ooh. Hedgehog! Oh.
I do not think it wrong that we live for the star, that we strive to make it a better place. And yet, in carrying out my duties here, there are times when I am plagued by doubt. Do you recall what Hythlodaeus said when we first spoke of my nomination? Death is the privilege of those who have fulfilled their purpose, a choice they embrace of their own free will, and when they depart, it is always beautiful. Perhaps it is, but only for man. Creations that he deems useless are discarded with nary a second thought. Some scarcely born into the world, afforded a handful of breaths before life and potential are abruptly extinguished. We make an effort to spare them the pain, but they sense what awaits. Rage and anguish and cower and fear, and it is not beautiful. Yet no one cares. No one. So fixated are we upon the duty that we do not pause to question the method. Pain and suffering, confusion and despair, writ plain in the eyes of those poor creatures. Yet no one sees. We turn a blind eye and carry on in blissful ignorance. Not amiss. And always, always the blossoms shine
ignorance
pure and
is
white.
bliss.
A contradiction so blatant I could scream, want to scream. How can you all accept this aberration? Then I wonder, am I the aberration for thinking thus? and I'm filled with dread.
So he has his doubts.
But now I know I'm not alone. Not the only one for whom the flowers weep.
Except that we're not from here.
I won't ask what you thought as you kneeled beside the Alpes, or if you only did it at Meteon's insistence. Nevertheless, I thank you. To know that you too have experienced suffering is a comfort.
A society without suffering. I can tell you all about suffering.
Lest you misunderstand, I derive no pleasure from your pain. It's just the fact that you are still here in spite of your suffering gives me heart. The stars in the heavens. Know you what they are? Though it is too far to tell, each glittering light could be a world not unlike Aetheris. A world filled with life. So many stars, so many lives. For us, there may be no higher purpose than to live for our world. But what of the other living beings out there? What is it that gives their lives meaning? That drives them day after day after day? To pose that question to our undiscovered cousins, I created beings of dynamis, who can traverse the vast emptiness between the stars. Meteon and her sisters.
The sisters.
Aye, sisters. She has a great many of them, and they have already departed on their journey, traveling to one star and then the next in search of life. As one might expect, exploration on such a grand scale is rife with difficulties, and thus far I've naught to show for it. But I have faith that we will make some manner of discovery ere long. And when we do, I should be glad to share our findings with you, in gratitude for your kindness. It's getting rather late. We had best find our beds. It would not do for both of us to be sleep-deprived on the morrow. Come, Meteon. Let us head back.
All right.
That was very specific. Level up. Enhanced living shadow. Did we not get anything from that? No. Okay, that is going to do it for that episode. What does enhanced living shadow do for us? It increases the potency of attacks dealt by Simulacrum to 300. And then that upgrades it to Shadowbringer. Do we get... Yeah, no, Shadowbringer is our next one. At level 90. Right, I am going to go and quickly do the Aetheryte quest. And then we shall come back next time to continue onwards with this quest line. There are starting to be some little seeds of dissent and doubt and darkness in this otherwise perfect facade. And the whole Dynamis thing very much makes me think that it's going to be at the emotive heart of what's going on. And we still haven't seen Vanar. Because when we got here, we saw somebody who looked a lot like Hydaelyn. And I'm assuming that was the form of Vanar. So we're going to see them at some point, somewhere, probably up in the later parts of the zone, I would guess. I'm very intrigued. If I can manage it, I'm going to get the entirety of this zone done today. Just because of all the zones, I think that this one would really hurt if things were spoiled for me. This one's definitely going to be up there. So we'll see next time. If you enjoyed this video and reaction, folks, do please leave a like, a thumbs up down below. Tell me whether you enjoyed this section as much as I clearly am. Although I say clearly, I've got so little energy that I might actually just be going on all these videos. I don't know, because normally I look across to OBS quite a lot, but I've just been so shiny and pretty and lovely. I've not even been paying attention to what I've been looking like. So, happy end walking. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.